What happens when Sword and Shield and Archoplasmor have a baby? Tenet Agendus, one of unique melee weapons that makes this game fun. At least out of all Tenet melee weapons that came out with Sisters of Parvos, this one stuck with me, as it probably has the most fun feature added to it. Adding unique combos does make weapons fun and, well, unique, but I understand it's hard to do it for every weapon, even though I would like it to be the case. Tenet Agendus has its heavy attack converted into a shield slam that launches a projectile that has all the properties of Archoplasmor. It's a wide boy projectile, infinite punch through enemies, no headshot damage multiplier, and it forces impact proc on every hit. Even with it being a heavy attack and having that charge time to it, it's not much slower than Arca's fire rate, to be fair. It's possible to build it for both melee use and having a strong projectile, even though there's a slight weirdness to it. For a build, it's about sacrificial combo to get that critical chance going on heavy attacks. Critical damage, viral, some range and attack speed, condition overload and corrupt charge. Projectile, while being generated with a heavy attack, is weirdly not affected by killing blow, but condition overload does affect it. To me it seems like it's not intended, but it ain't being fixed for ages, so we'll take it as a feature. Even more when you realize combo adds damage to projectile, hence corrupt charge in the build. Projectile has 20 meter range, and it starts to lose damage heavily after 10 meters. There's no mods that can help with that though. For Tenet element I picked radiation. With electricity and impact being base and the viral being part of the build, I feel like this helps to beat that condition overload. But it requires a Riven to make it work without sacrificing things. You can't always prime it with other weapons, as you see here. You can't spam that projectile, sadly, because second heavy attack is a charged swing. I kinda wish projectile was done the same way as with glaives or wolf sledge, by holding E, but it's still hella good as is, because it just hits hard. Weapon has no slash damage, and only way to deal slash procs is by forcing them with stances, which fortunately for this weapon, both stances do have forced bleed procs. This build is more casual. I feel like if you want to stretch this weapon for endurance, then Blood Rush would be better, as well as either combo efficiency or extra combo chance mods instead of corrupt charge. Still, with lack of slash damage, weapon is somewhat capped, which does not make it any less fun. I just won't use it for steel path endurance. Weapon still works well as self-sufficient primer. Projectile forces impact and can do other stuff, regular attacks have their forced bleed and other things, and weapon has a good status chance. So it works well, even in steel path missions. But I feel like this weapon is more for loadouts where your melee is not your focus and you want something flexible in that slot. It can carry you if you got the buffs and primers to go with it. Reason I don't play it more is because I used to like old Final Harbinger stance way more than the new iteration of it. I feel like stance is good damage wise, just movement does feel a bit limited to me, and you do end up missing some hits when you're flat out hugging enemies. But if you look at this weapon as a gunblade with a bit of an extra on the side, then it makes way more sense, because it definitely has something over gunblades, like a usable stance, decent range. But if you have enough corrupted hollow keys to get one weapon, this would be the one I'd recommend every time. Thank you for watching, thank you guys so much for reaching 100 subscriber milestone, and I'll see you in the next one.